Hey, it's Lily Archive, and today I wanted to look at the Duggar Bates confession page. Now, this is something that Gabs with Abigail, one of my favorite fundy YouTubers, used to do. So basically, what Duggar Bates confessions is when people go on Instagram and submit their confessions about the Duggars or Bates to this account, and they post them with little pictures and a background. Some of them are kind of kooky, and some of them I kind of agree with. But it usually calls us for good conversation. So I thought I would just go and look at some of the ones from 2024 and do a little reaction there. Okay, so I'm going to start at the beginning of the year. This one was posted in January. I think this is one of the first ones I posted this year. Somebody says, Esther and Nate remind me of Taylor and Travis. I honestly don't even have a reaction for this one, but just like, who the fuck wrote that? Like, I'm sorry, like, I actually do like Nathan and Esther together. He seems to really appreciate her, which I love a yearning man. Yeah, I don't know. They seem happy. Obviously, we don't really see much of them, and we only see what they want us to see. But they seem like they're a pretty good match, and they like each other pretty much. But yeah, so just an interesting thing to say, an interesting comparison to make, though. Okay, so this one was actually posted not until March. They didn't really post much in February as an account, but it says the new generation of parents, so that would be like Jim Bob's kids as parents and Gil's kids as parents. The new generation of parents is more lenient when it comes to letting their kids watch TV and movies. This begs the question, will they also allow their kids to play video games like Minecraft, Roblox, or Pokemon? I don't think that any of them would allow Roblox if they were like aware of things, just because it has such a social aspect that they could really get involved with some weird stuff. Well, I've never actually played Roblox now that I think about it. That's my understanding of Roblox. Let me know if I'm wrong. Minecraft, I feel like, is really creative and not violent. I feel like that's more of like a Fundy Light approved game, maybe, as well as, they didn't mention this one, but Mario Kart. I know that Jessa, I believe, gave Henry or Spurgeon a Minecraft Lego set for one of their birthdays. So I would assume that they probably play the game. Ben, I know, plays video games, which is honestly really interesting to me because I remember in growing up Duggar, they had kind of discouraged girls against getting involved with guys who played video games because it just kind of seemed like a waste of time and immaturity. So it's funny that Ben has a console. I think Trace has maybe a Wii. I know that Alyssa and John were at one of their houses, one of the other siblings' houses, with all their girls, and the girls were playing Mario Kart. I think it was at Trace's house. Regardless, I'm going to go down the list and say who I think would let their kids play like Mario or Minecraft. I think Zach would. And I'm probably going to say like the men, because I do feel like a lot of these guys would like enjoy playing Mario Kart with 3 other players, like all their kids. Like, I imagine that would be fun for them. I think Zach would definitely play Mario Kart. I don't know about Minecraft. I feel like Bradley would like that. Like, he gives those vibes, but I don't know if they would like allow Minecraft just because they wouldn't know what it was. Michaela and Brandon, and then Aaron and Chad, I don't think would allow video games in the house, just because I feel like they are more outdoorsy, craftsy people. Like, they want, they seem like they wouldn't be like a big screen time family. As for like Lawson and Nathan, I could see them playing Mario with the kids. I could see Esther and Tiffany playing Mario with the kids as well. Alyssa, I know, so when she was showing the kids playing Mario Kart, she's like, oh, we have to get one of these for the kids. I guess she'd be okay with it. I don't know enough about Tori and Bobby, to be honest. Trace, Evan, Kelton, and Travis, I could all see them playing with the kids. Some of the wives too, playing Mario Kart with the kids. I don't think they'd have a problem with that at all. Especially because like it would be like TV screen time rather than like iPad screen time. Sorry, I feel like that is different, and people see that differently. As for Jackson and Emerson, I would go out on a limb and say yes, but I have no like knowledge about them. As for the Duggars, Anna, I would say no, just because I don't think that any of like the younger kids in Jim Bob and Michelle's house play video games. I would say not, so I think that she would probably not do that. I'm assuming they still live there. I have no clue. Um, she might have her own place, but I don't imagine them allowing that. Even though I do feel like they've gotten more lax on things like pants recently. Um, I could see a toss up with John and Abby. I feel like John would really enjoy playing Mario Kart and other games like that, which I do feel like has a lot of impact on whether they would let the kids play in these situations. Jill and Derek, I think they'd be fine with it. Obviously, we've already covered Jessa and Ben. It seems like she'd be fine with it. Although, if I hadn't have seen that, I would say probably not. Um, Ginger and Jeremy, I just can't imagine them playing that kind of game. I feel like Jeremy would get too competitive, and like one of the girls would like beat him, and he'd get upset. Joe and Kendra, I just doubt it. Josiah and Lauren, we have not heard a lick out of them, so I don't even know what their life kind of looks like. I have no clue. Oh, I just know for a fact, we're to join now. I just know for a fact Gideon would fuck up some Minecraft now. Let's see. I do think that they would probably allow it, but I feel like Austin would want Gideon like working on more productive things. I feel like there would be like very much limits on how long they could play. But Gideon just looks like somebody who plays Minecraft, to be honest. Jed and Katie, I could see them being able to play, as well as Jared and Hannah's kids. And then Justin and Claire, yeah, I would think so. Like, I feel like Claire's siblings probably play a little bit of video games, kind of like those less violent ones. Although I don't really have an idea of what they'd be like as parents, to be honest. Someone says, I really hope Josie sends Willow to kindergarten next year instead of putting her through homeschool. I just really doubt this. She works from home anyway. I just really doubt it. I would have thought that maybe Carlin and Evan would have, but I think that with them vlogging, unfortunately, I think that she wants the kids home so that they can make content during the day. But as for like people like Katie and Travis, didn't Travis go to like a private school that was like run by his family? I know that they have like a college associated with the church, but I think there's also like K through 12. So maybe if they could find like a place that they trust, that they think would be a good place for their kids, maybe. But honestly, if not even Jill is sending her kids to public school, I don't really see it for them right now, for any of these guys right now. Maybe Ginger and Jeremy would do a private school if there's like, especially if there's like a K-12 program associated with their church. Maybe Ginger and Jeremy like a private school. All right, so moving on to ones posted in April. Someone says the fact that having kids for some of the younger fundies looks not only like a religious mission, but mainly a means to stay relevant and create content gives me the ick. I agree with this, but disagree at the same time. I'm kind of on the fence about this, just because I feel like when I think of Bates influencers, in particular the Bates family, I think of Carlin, Josie, Katie, and I understand that they all kind of have their own. I'm pretty sure Josie and Katie have the blood clotting disorder, and then Carlin had that thing, with her seizures and whatever. So that has kind of impeded them having as many kids as possible. But I really don't think that they have as many kids as possible. Like, I feel if they were truly pumping out kids for content, they would have, like, a couple more by now. Like, I feel like they would have had, Katie would have had Haley, like, right off the bat. She would have got pregnant again pretty quickly. I understand that Haley now is only, like, 1 in 3 or 4 months, but I feel like, they could have pulled a Jed and Katie and had a baby or 2 babies within like a year. So I think they are having kids pretty quickly, but I don't think that they're doing that. Now, are they exploiting their kids for vlogs? For sure. but are they like having as many as possible to exploit for vlogs? I don't know if that's true. So someone said, I love Jill's book. She did a great job of sharing what she wanted in a very classy way. I wonder how many of her siblings have read her book and what they thought. I think that there are 4 camps. The first camp being kind of like the Joy Austen camp. So Austen had said something to the effect of, if somebody wrote a book about your family, wouldn't you read it too? And I think that probably a lot of the kids are in that camp. Like, I just want to know what it says. Joy and Austen confirmed in that camp. I could see like James and Jason being in that camp, even though they live on the property still. I think they read whatever they want. There's another camp I think that is like, this is BS, and I'm not giving my time, my money, or my energy to consuming anything in it. I could see Jed in that category, Anna, maybe Jana in that category. The third category, I think, is Josie through Johanna. Obviously, they are not allowed to read it. And then I would say the fourth category being Ginger. I probably wouldn't have wrote it that way, but I'll support you by reading it and buying the book. So this one says, my heart hurts so bad for Michaela. I feel as if someone in her family should step up and be a surrogate for her. Now, I think that in one of Gaps with Abigail's Duggar Bates confession videos, there was a confession just like this. People say this all the time. This to me is so weird. Also, Michaela and Brandon are still in the IBLP. Brandon has been in like family conference videos, embassy media, whatever you want to call it. I think that they also don't really believe in that kind of thing. I'm not even sure they believe in IVF. I don't think they do. They have very weird thoughts on adoption. Also, a lot of the sisters have like a blood clotting disorder. It's hard enough for them to have kids on their own. Also, Michaela would never, I don't think would ever ask that. I could never see one of the sisters offering that. And not to, this might sound mean, but I also just like don't think that they should feel like they need to do that. Like, that's very sad for Michaela. I feel really bad for Michaela. But I don't think it's something that is wanted on either side, to be honest. And I think it's weird that people always say that somebody should be a surrogate for her. So this one's more of a question. Does anyone know which kids live at the big house and which don't anymore? Is it just married kids who moved out, or did anyone else move out? So that was asked recently. I think from as far as we know, Jana probably had to not live in the actual green big house due to her citation, especially if Anna's kids are still living there. So I think she lives in that little she shed, as far as we know. And then I think James and Jason, like James lives in some kind of warehouse, kind of like how Ben did. It might be the same warehouse. He's made videos from there before, so I think everybody kind of assumed. And then Jason, as far as people know, lived in that treehouse. I don't know if that's still true. Anna might have moved out. Who knows? Again, they don't really post anymore, so it's kind of hard to tell. I know a lot of the kids kind of live on the property, but Jim Bob had said, like, in one of the first specials, that was kind of why they bought all that land, so they could, once the children got older, they could build houses or whatever if they wanted to. I think, like, Joe might live still on the property, but in a different house. Josiah, same thing. But yeah, I don't know. That's as far as I know. So this confession is about how Joy commented on one of the confession posts. I'll put it on the screen after I finish talking about this. But she was answering a question about how many bathrooms the big house has. I think this is interesting because I wonder if she found that on her Explore page, or if she kind of checks it, or somebody like sent it to her. And I wonder, we found out probably about a year ago that Carlin was looking at like the Snark subreddit. I always wonder like who looks at that kind of stuff, whereas like Instagram pages, Snark subreddits, and that kind of thing. Okay, so this is the last one I'm going to do from 2024 so far. It says, so Law and Tiff announced that they are pregnant during I Love You Day in February, and so do Katie and Travis, Stealing Thunder. I think that Nathan and Esther also announced they were pregnant. With this many people, and especially the Bates having kids all the time, I don't think it's really a big deal. I don't think that Katie and Travis knew, or Lawson and Tiffany knew, that the others were going to announce. Even Katie and Travis kind of doing their little private gender reveal at Lawson and Tiffany's baby shower, I think. I don't think that's weird. I think that at this point, there's just so many so many pregnancies and stuff like that going on. It was just like a good opportunity for the family all to be there. And honestly, if I was one of the couples and I was announcing my pregnancy, I would assume there's probably at least one other couple that's going to announce that day with the whole family being together.